Hello, it's Mando. How you been? It's been a while, right? I have done so many different things. I'm not even sure how to combine it into one smooth video. So today I am doing it a little bit differently. But before anything else, I really want to thank you guys who comment. And for this video, I especially want to thank Karen Rowe and Charles Berger for checking up on me while I was gone. It means a lot, thank you. But anyway, one of my favorite things that I want to share with you is that my landlady, who is a blacksmith, invited me to her forge to make something. I really enjoy blacksmithing, forging. I decided to make a necklace based on one of my landlady's design that I've seen. I'm actually wearing it today. Being inside a forge is really warm, but thankfully we do have the forest lake about 1 Scandinavian mile into the forest. It's such a lovely lake. It has this tiny little shore and it's never any people there in the evenings, which is good because I don't like tight-fitting clothes. It's really convenient when you're alone, so you don't have to bother with, you know, clothing. It's been a real blessing to have access to it in this weather, but thankfully it's not as hot here as it was in the town where we used to live. It's so strange because it's so close to here, but it's a completely different climate. That is, I think it's called temperate climate, and this place is in a subarctic climate, so it's a little bit cooler here. But whenever I go into town for work, I'm like melting. I've also been into like town, like the center of the town, which was really fun because I rarely go. I really wanted to visit this shop. In the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a dying town, they opened a shop that only sells licorice. Which I must say is a daring move. I bought some different kinds of licorice and got some as a gift from a friend, and it was really nice. I also really wanted to visit one of my favorite shops. It's nothing like anything I've ever seen before. It's like from floor to ceiling. It's just filled with strange plants and wonderful furniture. So I really wanted to go, but the reason I wanted to go this time was to get some postcards that I saw last time I was there, about maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but they still had them, and I'm so happy they did, because I think they're really perfect to send to my patrons. And I'm a bit behind. I should have sent these a while ago, but I just started to get my office space in order and it's turning out really good. So I finally feel like I have the time and space to do these things in regards to my business. On our way home, we were surprised by a huge storm and the sky was just filled with lightning. You're not going to believe this.
Look how absolutely close I was. Move! Get out of here! Yes, you're very intimidating. Now please move. Go away! I don't want to touch you. Only one thing to do. Back up. Now he's moving!
I've also been quite a lot to Goblin Mountain because they opened up a cafe there. And apart from the amazing view, of course I want to support a local business. And last time I was there, an old lady was exhibiting her art. So of course I bought some postcards from her too. There were some things I forgot to talk about that feels important to me, and what a wonderful reason to sit outside with a cup of tea. At the foot of Goblin Mountain there is a medieval church and I tend to visit it every time I pass by, but it's always been closed for restoration every time I visit it. But this summer the restoration was finally over and I went inside and it was so beautiful. I went there with my family as well as one time with my good friend Svante that visited a few days. Spending some quality time with a good friend really did me good. We rarely gotten the time to hang out like we used to, and now he lives so far away, so it was really nice.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in.
One thing that I am a little bit sad about is that I actually tried to get even more postcards from a local artist. He's been dead for a while, but he's quite famous for painting trolls. And it's not Bauer, he's from southern Sweden. And that very much reflects in his artwork. But this artist, Rolf Lidberg, he paints trolls in landscapes that looks just like this one. And I always loved his art. And in his childhood home, there's like some kind of museum, but they are closing, so they were selling everything. And I went there, and it's quite a far way to go, because when you're in northern Sweden, what's considered local and close can be quite far away. But we drove there, and there was no one there, and we drove around, and it was so empty until I finally found some information online that it had been cancelled due to sickness and, you know, COVID. My grandmother said this guy, Rolf, he promised them a painting once, but they never went to get it, and they've always regretted that, of course. I had a lovely time with my grandmother because I'm working on a very special video about Swedish magic. So I decided to interview my grandmother, partly because she has more knowledge about traditions than I do. And they also did this magic ritual to her when she was like a toddler, when you drag the child back and forth with the feet first under a root. She doesn't remember much, but it was interesting to talk about and just talk about her youth and her thoughts. She read me some of her poems and sang some of her songs. It was just a really lovely time. I feel like you so rarely take the time to just sit down and talk, but I really feel how valuable that was. It's been so busy with everything. My wonderful landlady has taken down all the inside parts of the traditional windows that we have here, and she started to restore some of them that needed some upkeep.
Ooh, la 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 la.
Which is a very time-consuming thing, since it's old windows, old glass, and it's very old wood. Something that's so interesting about the windows in this house is that long before they even built the house, they went into the forest and carved things in the trees so they grew tighter. So the wood in the windows are actually a lot harder than any wood you can buy today. So they like collect old windows, because in case these breaks, they can't repair it with new wood. They need old windows. It's really interesting, and everything you see in this house, they have put so much effort into it. Oh, and my very last adventure I was on was like a runestone safari, where I went to look at all the runestones from the Viking Age in the area, looked at some burial mounds and stuff, but I think I'm gonna turn that into a separate video. I have quite a few videos coming up. That's a bit unusual for my channel, but I hope you don't mind, because I am so excited about them. If there's any certain kinds of videos you want to see, please let me know in the comments. And until next time, have a magical day. Oh gosh, that's a lot of cat hairs.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones.